Hey there, football fans. Welcome back to the channel. If you're here to get the latest scoop on NFL drama, you've come to the right place. Whether you're a die-hard Jets fan, a Seahawks supporter, or just a fan of fiery football moments, today's story will have you on the edge of your seat. We've got a wild one coming up. So buckle up because DJ Reed, the New York Jets cornerback, just called out the NFL officials after a heart-pounding, nail-biting, yet oh so frustrating 26-21 loss to the Seattle Seahawks. And trust me, this one is packed with penalties, emotions, and a whole lot of drama. But before we dive into the juicy details, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up if you love the content, and share this video with your fellow football enthusiasts. It helps us bring you more awesome videos like this. Alright, let's get into it. The game. A tale of woe and warnings. It was supposed to be a thrilling contest, Jets versus Seahawks. With so much on the line, the Seahawks came in with a decent record, while the Jets? Well, let's just say they were hoping for a miracle. But instead, they were handed a dose of reality. It wasn't just the players who had a tough day on the field, the referees were under fire too, and DJ Reed was more than happy to let the world know about it. Reed, who you may remember played for the Seahawks before joining the Jets, was absolutely furious after the game. With his team trailing by 5 points, he had seen enough. The Jets had been penalized a shocking 12 times for a total of 83 yards. And if that wasn't bad enough, they gave up 4 Seattle first downs as a result. At this point, Reed took to social media and didn't hold back. In a now viral post, he called the officiating crew out with a few choice words that made it clear he wasn't happy. He tagged the official NFL officiating account and expressed his frustration in the most colorful language possible. And boy, did the Twitter sphere explode. I mean, come on, when a player starts calling out the refs on social media with a hashtag y'all should be ashamed. You know things are getting heated. DJ Reed wasn't just venting, he was making a statement. The penalties, the real game changer. Now, let's talk about those 12 penalties. Yes, you read that correctly, 12. That's a whole lot of yellow flags flying around. And not in a fun way. The Jets seemed to be constantly moving backward. From a holding call on Reed in the first quarter to a horse collar tackle on a Seahawks running back that ended up giving Seattle the game-winning touchdown. You could almost hear the collective groans from Jets fans everywhere. The most infuriating part? Many of those penalties were at critical moments of the game. Take the holding call on Reed. For example, it came when he was covering Seattle's star receiver, Tyler Lockett. The penalty set up Seattle's first touchdown of the game, and you could see Reed's frustration growing. And then, later in the game, the Jets managed a 4th and 1 stop on defense, only for it to be wiped out by a questionable horse-collar tackle penalty. And just like that, Seattle's game-winning drive was back on track, and the Jets were left holding their collective heads in their hands. Imagine this. You're battling your heart out on the field. Your defense is making stops. And just when you think you've got the momentum, boom, another penalty. The frustration level? Off the charts. But wait, the drama doesn't end here. Oh no. Because Reed's anger wasn't just about the refs, it was also about the larger picture. The Jets season. The Jets. Another season. Another heartbreak. Let's be real here for a second. The New York Jets have been on a heartbreaking streak for years now. Their last playoff appearance was back in 2010, yep. You read that right, and since then, it's been a sea of disappointment. Fans keep hoping, but it's like they're stuck in this endless loop of hope, heartbreak, and well, more heartbreak. And don't even get me started on how the Jets' offense has been performing. Despite all the promise in the preseason, the Jets just can't seem to get it together. Quarterback struggles, offensive line issues, and now, to top it all off, penalties that put them in the hole every other drive. With the loss to the Seahawks, the Jets are now 3-9 for the season. That's right, just 3 wins out of 12 games. This marks their 9th consecutive losing season, and their playoff hopes are officially dead in the water. One more loss or a victory from their competitors, and they're officially out of postseason contention. It's not looking good, folks. They're already setting records for the longest postseason drought in the NFL, 14 years and counting. And here's the kicker. With all the penalties and missed opportunities, DJ Reed wasn't the only one feeling the heat. The Jets coaching staff has come under fire as well. Fans are wondering, is it time for a change? Well, if this loss didn't highlight it, I don't know what will. Reid's strong performance amidst the chaos. Now, let's give credit where credit is due. Even though Reid was visibly frustrated by the penalties and the overall performance of his team, he still put up a solid performance on the field. He finished the game with 4 solo tackles and 7 total tackles. He even had a deflected pass, which is no small feat against a high-powered Seahawks offense. But unfortunately, individual efforts couldn't save the Jets on this day. It's clear that while Reid and other players like him are giving it their all, the collective effort just isn't enough. And now, Reid's comments on social media have left fans and analysts alike questioning the direction of this franchise. The fallout. What's next for the Jets? So, what happens next for the Jets? Is it time for major changes in the front office? Will DJ Reid continue to speak out? Or will he channel his energy into trying to help this team turn it around? Will they finally get their act together next season? Only time will tell. But for now, one thing's for sure. This season has been filled with frustration. And for DJ Reid, calling out the refs was just the tip of the iceberg. Well, there you have it, folks. Another frustrating chapter in the saga of the New York Jets, and this time, it's DJ Reid leading the charge with his fiery comments about the officiating. What do you think? Was Reid justified in calling out the refs? Or should he have kept it cool? And do you think the Jets will ever turn things around? Let us know in the comments below. And before you go, make sure to like this video if you enjoyed the content. Hit that subscribe button to keep up with all the latest NFL news. And share this video with your friends. We're here bringing you all the football drama you can handle. Until next time, take care, and we'll see you in the next one. Is Aaron Rodgers' time with the Jets over before the season even ends? Football, the game where anything can happen. But what happened Sunday? Well, let's just say it wasn't a good day for Aaron Rodgers or the New York Jets. It started with what should have been a simple connection between Rodgers and Garrett Wilson. The stage was set. Wilson was wide open in the end zone, just 9 yards away from a potential score. Rodgers had plenty of time. The protection was solid. And, in theory, this should have been a textbook touchdown. But, instead of a touchdown, Rodgers threw an interception. And not just any interception. A pick six to defensive lineman Leonard Williams. Ouch. Just like that, the Jets' hopes of starting a rout turned into a spiral of despair. From that moment on, the Jets didn't score again. They didn't even reach the red zone. And, to make things even more awkward, the game ended with the Seahawks walking away with a 26-21 win. Rodgers' struggles. A symbol of the Jets' dysfunction. It's hard to believe we're here, right? A few months ago, this was a team full of optimism. A playoff team, many said. A team that could seriously make a Super Bowl run. The offensive line was improved. The defense was intact. The playmakers were ready. And of course, Aaron Rodgers was back. He was supposed to be the missing piece. The answer. The savior. But as the calendar flipped to December, reality hit. The Jets are sitting at a dismal 3-9 record. They're technically not eliminated from playoff contention. But at this point, their chances are slimmer than a snowflake in the Sahara. One more win from the Chargers or Broncos, or another Jets loss, and they're officially toast. This marks the 14th straight year that the Jets have missed the playoffs, a streak that holds the title of the longest playoff drought in all 4 major North American sports leagues. To make matters worse, the Jets are now staring down a 9th consecutive losing season. If they lose one more, they'll be facing their 10th double-digit losing season in the last 13 years. Talk about disappointing. Rodgers' statistics. A microscopic look at a franchise's struggles. Aaron Rodgers' struggles this season are like a microcosm of the Jets' dysfunction. This wasn't supposed to be the narrative. The 4-time MVP was supposed to be the guy to turn this ship around. But his numbers tell a different story. On Sunday, Rodgers finished 21 of 39 for 185 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. This marked his 5th game under 200 yards passing. To make matters worse, he's yet to throw for over 300 yards all season. His 8 interceptions are tied for the second most he's had in a season since 2010. This is not the same Rodgers who helped win Super Bowls and set records in Green Bay. Let's talk about a couple of statistics that really stand out. Rodgers has had 5 chances this season with the ball in his hands, with realistic time to drive down the field and win the game. The Jets? 0 wins in those situations. Zilch. Nada. This latest performance wasn't just a bad game for Rodgers, it was the worst of his season. After getting the Jets to the Seahawks' 29-yard line, Rodgers couldn't pull it off. Incompletions, a sack, and another incompletion later. The game was essentially over. Is it time to bench Rodgers? After another humiliating loss, the Jets were, as they often are, in full-blown crisis mode. Following their defeat to the Broncos, there were whispers about benching Rodgers in favor of veteran Tyrod Taylor. The offensive staff managed to convince the higher-ups to table that discussion. But now it seems to be back on the table. Even interim head coach Jeff Ulbrich, who has been very vocal about sticking with Rodgers, was less definitive on Sunday. When asked about making a quarterback change, Ulbrich responded with a cautious, "Not as of today." In Rodgers' defense, he didn't give much clarity either. "I don't know," Rodgers said. "We'll figure that out when we have those conversations." The issue, though, is that benching Rodgers might not make a difference. Sure, Tyrod Taylor is a solid backup, but he's not the long-term answer. He might bring a little spark, but we've seen this movie before. Eventually, he'll just be another guy in a long line of quarterbacks who couldn't make it work in New York. If we're being honest, the Jets' problems go far beyond the quarterback position. The offense has been a mess all season. Rodgers hasn't thrown for more than 250 yards since October. The Jets have scored more than 21 points just twice since September. They've lost 3 straight games, and 8 of their last 9. If this was anyone but Rodgers, the quarterback change would already be in the works. The Jets' future. A fresh start is looming. Rodgers' future with the Jets has become a hot topic, especially since SNY reported 2 weeks ago that it was highly unlikely Rodgers would be back in 2025. The Jets are reportedly planning a fresh start, with a new general manager, head coach, and possibly a new quarterback. Rodgers, despite expressing his desire to return, is facing questions about whether he can still lead the team to success. And for maybe the first time in his career, Rodgers needs to convince his team to keep him as their quarterback. But Sunday's performance didn't do him any favors. With Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh already shown the door, it's becoming increasingly clear that Rodgers might be next. If things don't turn around soon, he might not even make it through the season. Closing. So, what happens next for Aaron Rodgers and the Jets? Will he be able to turn things around? Or is this the beginning of the end for his time in New York? Stay tuned, because this season is far from over. And one thing's for sure, the drama is just getting started. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with your friends. We'll be back soon with more NFL news and updates. So stay with us.